Hello, this video is about constructing with lines. It's all about straight lines, and there'll be we'll have different levels. If a 4-year-old, they're just understanding the concept of a straight line, and maybe a 7-year-old. So this is for ages 4 to 7. So we've been doing something very different with 4-year-olds than with 7-year-olds. The 7-year-olds already have the concept of straight lines, and it'll be more about construction. So I'm going to share my visualizer with you. Love my visualizer. Love, 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 love my visualizer. Okay, right. Those are tools for today. We also want a ruler, and then you might want circles. Although you can download, well, I encourage you to download the activity pack, which includes some circles, special circles, for you to have a go at the activities for this morning. So we're going to start with the 4-year-olds, and the idea is to identify straight lines. What's the difference between a straight line and any other line? Well, 4-year-olds, when they're drawing, lines are random. But if you give them straight lines, then they can build things with them. So simply cut up a bit of cardboard, cut up some edges, and see what they can build with them, and refer to the straight lines. You've got straight lines on the ruler. My grandson got his plasticine out last night. He's 5. And we were talking about straight lines during the live, the prep live last night, and he made 4 straight lines out of plasticine, nice, quite broad, and he stuck them together to make a quadrilateral. And that was, look, Grandma, I've used straight lines, and he was building a shape using straight lines. So at that level, that is a very important realization, to understand what a straight line is as opposed to a curved line. As they get older, then we can start drawing with straight lines, and you don't have to actually, well, the activity we've got here is I have got a piece of cardboard, and I've used, that's what this was for. So I'm improvising because I'm actually not in my own home at the moment. I'm in an amazing place in Spain. I'm very, very lucky. And I didn't have anything to make holes with, so I found a corkscrew. So I drew a square. I've got a toy for my grandson. Well, it's actually for the activity we're doing this weekend, which is jumping frogs, but in this case I'll be jumping glow hands and feet. And so made a square, and we have the same amount of holes on every edge. Now, I haven't done it terribly regularly. I just kind of, yeah, that's how I didn't do it very regularly. Now, and we're going to do this with wool, and I don't have a needle that's the right size, so I just use this one of my plastic straws. I'm only using my plastic, I'm not buying any new plastic straws, but of course I brought a bunch of equipment with me to do my live. So I've got my plastic straws, and I cut down here, and then I cut out the needle, the eye of the needle, eye of the needle, and then you continue cutting the rest of it. I cut a little bit, cut out the eye of the needle, and then cut the rest of it. So now I have drawn. Now I have committed a terrible sin, not being able to find the end of my wool. Therefore, I'm going to commit an even worse sin, which is that anybody that knits, this will hurt you, and I'm terribly sorry. It hurts me too. I haven't been able to find the end of this, and I prefer to use the centre, but I suppose I should have used one of the bits of the centre. But anyway, the idea is that I'll pull this out of here, and then it's terribly frustrating. Somebody that knits will feel my pain. And what we're going to do is these various holes. We're going to this is for a younger person. This is a way to enable them to work with straight lines without having to draw straight lines, which is quite challenging. The longer the younger you are, the more challenging it is. But this is empowering. Now, apparently, you can wet wax, and if you dip that in wet wax, it makes it a lot easier. I've got my needle here. So now we're going to take it from underneath. Start with one at the end. She optimistically open out that hole a bit so that the needle will go through. Pull it through all the way to the knot. And now you can use a hole punch, but small hole punch, as long as the hole punch. I suppose as long as you make that first one small, the rest of them you can just use a hole punch, which will make it a lot easier for a very young person to do this activity. So I've got to open that up a bit. So yes, using hole punches, it doesn't have to be, you can make it a nice big card. For a card like this, you can just put hole punches. Let me see, hold on, you can't see that. For a card like this, you can literally just put hole punches all the way around the outside, do the activity, and you can test, just experiment with different things to, oh my goodness, what is wrong with me right now? That's not good, that's not what we want at all. So I have to pull this out. Oh, well, there you go. It's all right. Or maybe I did have it, it's just, see, it's broken in between the two, that's all. Right, so now I'm going to go back to this point here. There we go. Pull that through. If you use a hole punch, it'll come through an awful lot easier than what I'm doing. Hello, come on. Woo. Woo. Yeah, hole punch would be really good because this is actually, these holes aren't quite big enough. But just goes to show what you can do with a bit of improvisation, and that keeps scooching back to where it doesn't need to be because there's a hole there, because it's ripped between. Okay, now just keep going. So I started on the corner to position 1, then position 1 goes to position 2, position 2 goes to position 3, position 3 goes to position 4. Keep going along and see what happens. Now remember, these are all straight lines. And have a look, see what you get out of it. And as I say, it needs a bit of prep from grown-ups. But once you've done the prep, your early years learner can do the activity themselves, maybe with a bit of supervision, or you can count while you're at it. So that's, you can even put the numbers on there, and that's what I do a lot with my grandson, is I'm putting numbers on to help them get familiar with the numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some children do their letters before they do their numbers. He's not at all confident with his letters. And that would actually help him if I start using the letters and maybe on activities like this. But at the moment, it's easier for him if I do 1 to 2 rather than A to 2. And so you just go with what works. But this is a great activity for that. And I will start integrating letters into these activities so that you're not just going from that dot to that dot, you're identifying it. Like we do that with grids. We've been working together, just as this little aside here. We've been working, let me see. I'm confused about what's on top. That looks like it's on top. It's upside down. This is very confusing for me. It looks like it's upside down, which it shouldn't be. I'm confused. I hope I'm not going to be doing this upside down for you. Anyway, you can do, what were we doing? This is when we were doing things when he was in Spain and I was in England, and we were playing games together. And so he would have to tell me where to put things. And so instead of doing, you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and A, B, C, D, E. and you still do this, you don't have to be doing it by remote. It is upside down. This is very good. Why is it doing that? It's supposed to do it so you and I both have the same view. So I'll turn that around. Now I have to draw upside down. That's interesting. Or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that way, if they've got their numbers, or you can do all letters if they haven't got their numbers. And that way, that's just a little side there. So I would do that with this for the early years. I would actually refer to them with the numbers so they get familiar with using them, more familiar, because it takes many, many, many repetitions before fluency happens. And that's normal. So that's what we do. Now I've got to work out how my visualizer works again. So now the other thing on this activity, and you'll find these in the, if you print out the resource pack, you'll find them. I'm going to use a compass, but you can use just circles. I've got the circle here, but you can use plates. I say I'm going to use a compass, but my compass seems to have gone for a little walk. Oh yes, here's my compass. Now the other thing you can use string and paper clips. So you can position the string in the center using, anchor it using anything really. You can tie it onto here and anchor it onto something sharp like that and put it in the middle, and then, whoopsie. Oh look, that's a nice short one. Where did that come from? Don't tell me I did find the end of it in the end. This is only a short piece. This must have been the other end of it. I don't know. Right. And then you can use a paper clip on the other end. Right, on the paper clip, you just determine the size that you want it to be. Whatever size circle, that would be the radius. And then this is the genius of it. And you snip that off. Now this isn't ideal because it's a corkscrew. It wants to be, the centre of the circle wants to be the same. But the corkscrew is actually not ideal. Maybe I will. Oh, here we go. Found one. Found a pen. Pen's perfect. So the centre will be static. Centre's not going to move. It's going to be a bit too small, so I'll change the paper. There we go. Centre is here. And now, get my marker. And the marker, so that's going to be really anchored well. Really nice and secure. And then with this one, stretch it out as far as it will go, and then draw a circle, or whoopsie. What? So do it better than me. There you go. I've got a circle. And then you can draw a smaller circle by making the yarn a bit shorter. Actually, wool is not ideal because wool is quite flexible. Some nice cotton, probably a better idea because it doesn't have any give. But that's a reasonable circle, and it's probably about as rough as your 7-year-old's going to make it, which gives you an idea about my ability when it comes to my dexterity. So we're gonna, and then I'll draw another one. I'll just draw another one with my compass, or I could use a plate. You can use a plate and draw another one, and we're just going to show you the next fun activity. And you can draw different circles of different sizes. If you print out the activity that's in the resource, there are circles in there, and they're very special. relationships between the circles. So that's going to give you some special shapes. With this one, what we're going to do is we're going to start anywhere. Just decide I'm going to start there. Start. And we're going to go from that point. We're going to touch the inner circle and wherever it ends up. And that there is called the tangent. That's what it's called. So that's not really my grandson Leo. I could say tangent, but he wouldn't know what I was talking about. But your 7-year-old might be able to grasp that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to go from there and touch the inner circle and go here. And what shape do you think we're going to get? So from there, touch the inner circle. Oh, okay. Is that what you were expecting? Go from there and touch the inner circle. Go from there and touch the inner circle. There we go. Go from there and touch the inner circle. Like so. And just experiment with it. And as I say, let's see, this looks like I'm about to have something very, oh, so close. Do you think that was going to touch? Did you think that was going to go back to the beginning? Of course it might, but it didn't, did it? Oh, now I'm going to go over here. Oh, this could be very interesting. Touch the inner circle. Wow. That is going to be a really cool shape. That is going to be such a cool shape when we're done. Okay, so, and then, the other thing was with this shape here, you can do the same thing, whoops, but with lines, just by drawing lines. You don't have to use the wool. So a 6 or 7-year-old would probably be fine doing that with lines, but for a 4 or 5-year-old, let's say do the hole punch on some nice thick card and a nice safe needle, and definitely you can use a straw one if that makes it safer. And they can make this amazing shape themselves once you do the prep work. They can help you with the prep work, of course. Okay, so really that's about it. Now, how is this going to benefit your early years learner? It's going to benefit them. It's helping them visualize, it's helping with vocabulary. You can use the vocabulary that's in the activity pack if you don't know the vocabulary yourself. And it's basically helping visualize. It's getting really straight on straight lines, but also seeing the possibilities. Oh my goodness, using straight lines, you can make all kinds of shapes. Really exciting. And just getting engaged in activities that it helps with dexterity, if they're using a ruler or a compass or even just a needle and thread. And all these things are developing skills that are helpful for the rest of their lives. So, and that's what we're working on most. And then there's the fundamentals of the numbers which you can integrate into this activity, and the names of things like a straight line, a curved line, a circle, a tangent where relevant, and how straight lines can make curved lines, or appear to make curved lines. And that appearing to do something is really important, because not everything is what it seems, and having an analytical mind helps you discern between what appears to be the case and what really is the case. So let's have a look, see if anybody, if you are enjoying these lives, please do share them and tell other people about the Making Maths Fun Kids of All Ages group. And if you are on YouTube, or you know someone that is on YouTube that isn't on Facebook, please tell them about our YouTube channels, which are the Maths Toys YouTube channel. The Maths Toys YouTube channel has videos that aim specifically at the home learning guides in the Aiming High website. And then the Bubbly Maths YouTube channel has the lives that we do here, and it has other activities, maths activities, fun maths activities with, the brain just went, blue. with soap bubbles and balloons, and we're starting to talk about maths anxiety and how you can help solve that problem as well with home learning. All right, and let me just see quickly if I can. I don't think I didn't press play early enough, so I'm not going to be able to. So I'll leave it at that. And thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be playing for tomorrow's live, and then we're doing the activities again tomorrow. 9 o'clock is the 7 to 18-year-old activities, and 10 o'clock, this is London time I'm talking about, is the early years. And then Friday night, as usual, game night, and it's jumping frogs, boing, boing. Except we're going to be jumping hands and feet. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening,